Hi guys, so this video is about how I came to open my tuition center about 7 years ago. Here goes. You can say that I was a very reluctant entrepreneur or business starter. I never wanted to start up a tuition center. It's never been in my mind. I don't have a passion for entrepreneurship. I don't have a passion that I want to build something significant. My biggest dream, my biggest wet dream is to be able to just stay as a salary employee and basically get my year-end bonuses, everything, get my pay on the 12th every month and just be that way for the rest of my life. I will be super happy. I will be super stoked. But as fate would have it, sometime after working for 4.5 years in MOE, as a school teacher, my backside start to get a bit itchy, and then this thought came to me, and it said, in my mind, it was telling me, do you really want to wake up at 5:45 a.m. for the rest of your working life? So this thought really gnawed at me for a very, very long time, until a point in time where I couldn't really take it, and plus some circumstances at work also caused me to be a little bit jaded, a little bit cynical, and I thought that, I think that I'm just not going to be able to move ahead in my current workplace. So I thought, why not try something new? So after finding out a little bit about another hobby interest that I have, I decided to quit my job and I went to become a stockbroker for 3 years. One thing I realized after working as a stockbroker for 3 years, see that on average every month I'm taking back home less than $2,000. So this is not really sustainable, and at the end of the 3 years I decided to call it quits. And I went back to my old school. I spoke to my principal, and she graciously took me back as a contract teacher. So I stayed on in MOE as a contract teacher for about 3 more years until the big tsunami happened. So what is this big tsunami? This big tsunami is actually the merger of JCs. A lot of you would know that in 2017, a lot of the JCs, 8 of them in fact, were merged into 4 JCs, and my JC happened to be one of the 8 that was merged. It was my principal. He told me basically, Eric, we cannot renew your contract because I've been on contract for the past 3 years. Since MOE already has sufficient teachers, by the time I tried to go back as a teacher, I could only be on contract. So the principal told me that, hey, we can't renew your contract because MOE has sufficient teacher, and yeah, the schools are merging, so you have to look for another job. 9 months in advance, I was told to look for a new job. So I really went to look for jobs, and at the time I managed to find this job at NTU. I haven't applied for it. I just told my then wife, I told her that, hey, I found this job. I think I'm gonna go for the interview. It's paying about 4,000 a month. So at that time it was a step down a little bit from my teaching salary, and then she was looking at me, my wife was, and then I can tell that she's a bit incredulous look, and then she told me, you're really gonna apply for this hostel manager job which have no prospect, no advancement prospect whatsoever, 4K, and you think that you can support a whole family?
Seriously, what the?
At that time, she was heavily pregnant, about to give birth to our son, and I actually just bought the house 2 years ago, barely 2 years, and my son is going to be born. My wife heavily pregnant. I think you can imagine the scene that was in my living room that day. She was very upset, to put it mildly, and so I looked at her and I got upset too. I said, in my mind I was saying that, wow, honest living, right? What's wrong with earning an honest living? Maybe a bit lesser than what you expected. So I argued with her a little bit, but after I have cooled down and thought about it, I knew that she had my interest at heart, so I decided to rethink basically what else can I be doing. So I reached out to this friend of mine. He's a tuition center owner. He's a church friend of mine, and then I asked him, "Hey bro, is there like a opening at your tuition center? Can I go back to working for you?" So I worked at his center for 3 years when I was a stockbroker to supplement my very extremely low commission-based income. And then he looked at me and said, "Hey, bro, I'm no longer offering all the subjects. I'm just teaching my own subject." He asked me, "Why don't you set up a center like at the place that I'm at now?" Then I was like, "No lah, I don't know how to run a center. There's so many things to do, and it's quite risky to sign the contract for the rental and all that. So I have no idea how I'm supposed to go about it, because at the back of my mind, I have ventured out and I have failed as a stockbroker. So I thought that I have no idea how to get clients before this, and now I probably have no ideas how to get students, how to recruit students." So he reassured me, say that, "Hey bro, don't worry. I have this friend who's looking to upgrade from his current place, which is a place that is like below an escalator. It's a very small Harry Potter-like place, like just underneath the escalator." I see whether I can like put in a picture to show that. So that place, right, a very small place, can only hold 5 to 6 people at any one time, and the rent there was about 1,001 a month. So being the employee mindset, right, I think that, oh, I'm not even having any student yet, I have to pay like $1,100 every month. So I told my friend, say, "Hey, I'm very scared lah, very worried." Then he reassured me, say, "Hey bro, don't worry. I know a few center owners here. We're all teaching A-level subject. We'll try to refer students to you. And moreover, the lease is for 5 months. You try it out for 5 months. It's only $5,500. If really it doesn't take off, you really cannot sustain yourself, then just don't continue. Don't renew the lease." So I thought about it, like 5,500 is still quite a big sum to me. It's like almost 1.5 months pay. Given that I'm going to lose my job soon and don't have a job, then to me that is like very risky. So in the end, I decided to just go for it and try to supplement it with private tuition. At the end of that year, I managed to have 9 students, like 7 in JC1 and 2 students in JC2. That year was 2017. That was my first year in operation, and I have a whole bunch of private kids, private students to help supplement the income. So I was able to make more or less like the salary that I was earning when I was in school. So yep, that was how I started my journey. So looking back, it's been quite a journey. A lot of things that I learned, how to set up a website, how to run Google Ads, how to do social media, how to do branding, marketing, how to do video editing. I basically learned a ton of things once after I started this tuition center, and I am still learning. And so if any one of you are thinking that, hey, so competitive, whatever you're thinking of doing is thinking that, oh, you may not be up to it. You're probably not up to it yet, but as you go along doing and learning on the job, and basically just failing along the way and finding out what works, what doesn't, and fine-tuning it, you will eventually get to where you want to go, as long as you don't give up. I hope this story encourages you. Everything starts small, and sometimes in the most unlikely of places, you can also find good success. I wish you guys all the best, and check out my other videos, and remember to subscribe.